Hey guys, Michelle here from Cashel Creations, and I'm working on some Easter projects for the upcoming holiday, and I wanted to show you some of the things that I put together. I found this font on Creative Fabrica, which I'm a member of, so for me it was free, but I will put the link below. And what I decided to do was arrange the names. Obviously, my daughter's name has too many letters to make it as pretty as my niece's in the sense of the size. But what I wanted to do was put them on top of the jewelry boxes where I picked up from the Hobby Lobby clearance these bracelets that I had mentioned in my past hauls, and thought it would be fun to kind of decorate them with the Tim Holtz thinlits, the Easter ones with the bunnies. So I put these together and I thought it would be fun to kind of just show you how I just decorated the boxes instead of them just being plain. So I went ahead and took off the clearance orange sticker off of them, put them in their boxes, and we're just going to decorate them together. Just kind of gives you some ideas as to what to do. Or some inspiration. So I actually use sticker paper, and I'll put the description down below as to what it is, but just basically peel them off. And what I'm thinking about doing, and I should have done this before I peeled it, is to figure out, I think it was this one I wanted, to figure out the placement of it. Now obviously the bunnies are a little bit tall for the box, but that's fine because it's going to go in a gift bag. But I wanted to place this somewhere here as such, and then use my Barely Glue Art glue and just glue down the bunny to the actual box. And that would just be a cute thing to do to make it decorative and festive for the occasion. And then just push it down. Now, I mean, typically on other projects, I would cut off the trim here of the bunnies, but I think it looks fine the way it is. It's just an added touch. So that is one of them. So let's go real quick and do the others. I don't really care which one goes where because they're sisters and they kind of share everything. But I do want to figure out my placement of my bunnies to do it right this time. I think this one, I think these would be cuter in the corner as such. So let's go ahead and take off the backing of the sticker. And again, it's really easy. Peel them off. Now I do offer stickers in my shop. We can do custom stickers for you. So if you don't have a way to make it for yourself, if you do have a way to make it for yourself, basically I use Cricut Design Studio, and I import the PNG image into the studio. And then you want to make sure you flatten the image, and then you print it out with your printer, and then you go ahead and you cut it with your cutting machine. I have a Cricut Maker, so I use it with that, but I'm pretty sure the same concept can be done with the other cutting machines out there. So I do that. Typically in my shop, I put a sealant on top, even though it doesn't really need it because these are washable stickers that you can put on water bottles and such. But since this is going to be a gift, didn't really feel the need to add that additional seal. These are just so fun and cute. I mean, I kind of like the box better than what's inside in my opinion, but that's because we're crafters, right? So again, just, you know, a little bit of glue goes a long way, I guess. And then we're just gonna attach this cute little bunny here. So there we go. We have 3 boxes of cute bracelets. I can link the, I believe I got these boxes off of Amazon because they're plain a few years ago, and I just never been able to use them in my shop yet. So I figured I'll just use them for this project. So I'll link those as well. So that's one of the projects that I wanted to share with you guys. Then the other thing that I wanted to share with you is these bags that we picked up at the Hobby Lobby clearance haul that was on clearance. I picked up these bags mainly because of its size. And so what I wanted to do was use them for Easter. And again, I wanted to decorate them. I wanted to kind of make them their personalized Easter baskets because, you know, to me, Easter baskets, what do you do with them afterwards? Do you keep them? Do you get rid of them? Do you send them to Goodwill or a consignment shop or whatever? So I thought, why not just use one of these? And so I kind of did the same concept with the jewelry boxes, but instead I'm using cardstock. And it's just 65-pound weight. And I use the same format. I did use Cricut Design Space again to arrange the font the way I wanted to. This time I put it sideways instead of upright because I have a bigger space to work with. So I went ahead and I sized it to what I like. Obviously the style to me is more visually appealing in my eyes, but with as many letters, and I didn't want to shorten their name, I went with this format. So we're gonna go ahead and choose, I don't really like the yellow, so we're gonna go with, let's go with 2, this pink is nicer. Go 2 pink or purplish, a mint green. Let's just go 2 mint greens. So that way we'll do 2 and 2. And so we just want to make sure what side you want to put it on. Obviously, it doesn't really matter in the sense of delivery because this just comes down to the bottom. But I'm going to use the front, in my opinion, this side. And so we're going to do one at a time. And let's just choose Edward's name first. Now, to me, when I am choosing the placement, you do see a little bit of where the strip is on the inside. Kind of see a shadow there. So to me, it's kind of like doing a shirt, or a page, I guess, depending on what kind of craft you're doing. And so I want to put it somewhere near there. You can put it obviously wherever you feel comfortable, whatever works for you. But just keep in mind that when you do open it, because it will become 3D, it's not a flat item in the sense of the use of it. When you open it up, you are going to have bulk of your items inside. So to me, having it closer to the top will help with the items you place inside to give it the visual aspect of it. Also, not sure how much you're going to be putting inside. If you wanted to close it at the top with a staple or a ribbon or something to just keep in mind. If you aren't sure, my suggestion would be to open it up, fill it with your items, get a visual of the placement of it to figure out where it works for you and your project. That's the suggestion that I would kind of give. I'm fine wherever it sits, but I do want it closer to the top. So I'm just going to use the glue I did before, and I'm going to go as close as I can. I could have used sticker paper, but I didn't want to use my stash because I don't have that much of it left, and I have tons of white. So again, I'm just gonna put a little bit there, and then I am going to find my center and just eyeball it and place it there, and then I am just gonna push it down with my fingers, give it a good smush, I guess. And again, I will place the link to this font design down below if you're interested. I think it's so fun. The bonus files for the link is what gives me all the colors. If you just like the font in itself, that's separate, but it's all in one link. So just letting you know. So this is Edward's. So let's go and do the same thing for Samantha. And again, I'm just gonna go around the corner, or the edges, sorry, of all the name. So for these two names, I actually did the, what is it called? It's where you, I know there's a name for it. It's a curvature. And of course I have the loss of words, and so therefore I'm going to not remember what it's called. But you basically grouped all the letters together in the way you wanted it, and you can kind of see where the letters do overlap one another. And if you didn't catch that, I'll bring it up closer. So you can kind of see the A's are in front of the S and the M, and it's basically just putting the file, because it will be an individual file for each letter, I mean. And you basically will bring that letter forward and these two in the background. And I kind of did that based on how I wanted it to be viewed. Then once you group all of your letters together, you can do that, I don't know what the name is, that curvature option, where depending on the size of your shadow, and that's what to me it is, you're gonna make that indentation. So you can kind of see it gives it a border all the way around. Then once you do that, you're going to highlight both your letters that you grouped along with that background you created, and you're going to flatten them together. And that essentially what is allowing me to print this on my cardstock with my printer. And then once it's all printed on that sheet, you're going to put it through your cutting machine. And again, I use a Cricut Maker, and it's going to cut around the outline of it. Now, if you don't flatten the images together, that's not going to do it. It's actually going to cut out the white and then cut out each letter. And I've done that before, and trust me, it's a pain in the butt. So it's just trial and error and just figuring out. If you're not sure if it works, just go to YouTube and look up. I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of options out there for that. I don't have the capability yet to show you that on the computer. I'm working on that. But I kind of just wanted to give you a description of that through words in case you were interested. In this situation, as you see, I don't have a border around the letters. So what I did was just use one of their images. I grabbed a square or a rectangle. I used the one that was curved already, and I put the border in the back, changed the color so I can see it. Because again, since I printed this and then cut it, if I left the color of the background, it will print the color of the background. So what I did was I just sized it the way I wanted, centered it how I wanted it to be centered, and then went ahead and print and cut. So that's how I did these steps. If you have vinyl and you're wanting to put this on a shirt, it's kind of the same concept. You would just be using vinyl as your image and plus sublimation, because I'm pretty sure there are not printers out there yet, like a regular printer. You would have to use a sublimation printer to print it and then cut it, and that's a whole nother concept, which we can talk about at a later time. So again, I'm just gonna put these on the bags the way I want them to be placed. And we have one more to do. And so these are going to be my Easter baskets, I suppose, but we're gonna make them Easter bags. And basically I just want them to be on there for a period of time. So these I'm putting a little bit closer to the top, mainly because they're longer in length. I don't think that's straight, but whatever. Okay, so for right now, we have done these cute little bags. And now what we're gonna do next is one final project that I wanted to create for the bags. And that is these cute, adorable Peeps. Now I bought these a couple weeks ago at Walmart, and unfortunately they're no longer there. I've checked, but they smell so good, no lie. So I am going to put their names on them, and I thought it would be a cute touch. Of course, trying to figure out who gets what will be a challenge, but I think what I'm gonna do, and I've already done these, was I used heat transfer vinyl or HTV or whatever format you want to refer to it as, and I've sized them to fit perfectly on the front. And I did want to put the year only because sometimes, you know, you do different things and you want to reference when you got it. So I decided to put it there. Don't know if maybe I want to put it in the back. See, this was the part that I was struggling with. I think the front is kind of cute. So I would put Samantha there. And then I got one for Sarah. And I'm hoping that these are the colors that they like. For Sky, I wasn't sure what colors she would like, so I went with the multicolor that they had available. I swear, these smell so delicious. And then Edward loves ducks, and I thought it was so cute to get him an actual Peep that looked like a duck instead of a bunny. So I guess I should have sized him a little bit differently. Maybe we can put him here. Or maybe on this side. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure his out. Will be toward the end. So what I did was I grabbed my heat structure. Obviously these are thick enough where it's not going to go on my surface, but just in case, I did want to protect my surface from any heat element. And so what we're going to be using is my little tiny heat little platen that I guess is from Cricut. So I heated it up to the second little dash, as you can see there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just, I should have done this before. Lint roll it, because you never know what kind of stuff is on there. And then we are going to place it how we want to place it. And I think having the 2023 toward the bottom would be a great idea. And then what I like to do is kind of like put it out in front of me to make sure it's centered and straight the way I want it. And I think that looks good. So what we're gonna do is take the little thing and we're just gonna press down to get the HTV to stick. Now you don't want to keep it there too long because you don't want to burn anything. And you do want to make sure you have your hand safety. If your hands are not going to be safe, then do use heat gloves. I do have them, but I think I'll be fine. So we're just going to adhere it and see how it goes. Now with this type of heat press, I guess it's a heat press. They do state that you need to have it in motion. I don't know if that does change anything. I use this off and on small projects. So you do want to also make sure that whatever type of heat transfer vinyl you are using, that you check the directions of how that vinyl plays into it, meaning is it a cold peel, hot peel, warm peel, does it matter, does it not? If you're new to this, again, I would definitely try it on a different substrate just to see how it works for you before using it on the item you want to, because to me, practice makes perfect. And you never know when you're doing something new and it's your one only thing you have and you're like, I just messed it up. Although happy accidents are good sometimes, but not when you are not having another option to obtain it. So just something to think about. This vinyl that I'm using, I believe is StarCraft. Easy Weed. So I just grabbed it from my stash because it was a small item. And as you can see, it's already adhering. So another thing you do want to be careful with is just pull slowly and slightly, because if anything did not adhere, it gives you a way to go back and do it. So that came out super cute. Another thing you can kind of do to take out the lines, again, is just take your lint roller again and just fluff it. Sometimes that helps take out that line that you just did, and I would do it as quick as possible. So there we go. I think that looks super cute. And again, it's just a little thing. So that is one. Let's do this one next. And so we're going to lint roll this real quick. And again, find the placement. I really liked it at the bottom. Kind of hides the 2023 a bit and focuses on the name. Now, if your backing to your heat transfer tape does not work well, there is heat tape that I believe Cricut also sells, or you can find some that is the yellow tint on Amazon. That might help you keep it stationary and not mobile in the sense of it moving. So that might be something that you might want to have on hand, unless you're fine with dealing with, you know, your backing to your heat transfer vinyl. So I think that looks, although I keep fidgeting with it, I think that looks good. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just press and then move it around to get the heat. And then we want to make sure we get those letters, the numbers at the bottom. Now, I have had problems with the Cricut vinyl doing stuff to small items like this, where the vinyl takes more heat or more pressure to adhere. I have gotten irritated with that. So if you are having difficulty with your vinyl, it might be because you need more pressure to adhere to your item or higher heat. So something to think about if you're struggling with that. As you can see, again, it's already lifting up, and maybe because it's a curvature as to why that is. But as you saw, I didn't really, do it long. Now, something I want you to kind of see, hopefully you can, is that this looks like it's adhered to the item and this looks a little raised. So I might go over that again because I feel that it didn't really get onto the substrate. And how I can tell is because this is material. It has little grooves in it, right? And so to me, the heat transfer vinyl should embed itself into that. To me, that's where the strength comes from, the vinyl adhering to your garment or substrate, whatever you're using. So don't know if you can kind of see a little bit of that difference, but it's now flatter compared to when it was a little raised. So there we go. So another one, so super cute. And again, you can do it with your fingers because it's no longer hot. So cute. We have one more before we get to the little chicky duck. And then we're gonna do the same thing. Make sure it goes in the right direction. So are you guys working on any Easter projects this year? I have seen a lot of people get these little Peeps. So I think they're super cute this year compared to doing a bunny, which I've done in the past. So I thought this year would be kind of cool to do something different. So here I see that the 3 is kind of going off, which actually did it to all the other ones. I didn't even realize that. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting it with enough. Maybe I should move it up just a tad. There we go. getting things straight is like my biggest pet peeve. And I hate when, as we well know, garments are never made the exact same way for every single one, because there's always a discrepancy in the way that it's done. And look, I still did it like that. Whatever, we're just gonna leave it that way. So looking at something, I always try to make sure it's straight. So I guess it's just me. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing as we did to the other two. And again, just apply the heat and a little bit of that pressure, and you can push down a little bit if you want, and just go around. And I would say this is what, like 5-10 seconds, and you can already see it peeling up. Now that 3 got smushed a little bit further down, but that's okay. So again, just applying a little bit of pressure, and I'm kind of using the side, I don't know if you can see that there, to help me making sure it's on there good. And then again, slowly I'm just going to peel it back, kind of make sure that everything is on there. There we go. And I will also put a link down to the font I use. I also grabbed it from Creative Fabrica as well. I was trying to look for something that was fun and Easterish. To me, I think the bigger ones look better because they're more of a bold style, but when I had to shrink it down to the same size, length, is where you kind of miss that. So I don't know if you can kind of tell the difference in that, but the font is super cute. All right, so it brings us to our last one, Mr. Edward here. And I want to say, I feel like the front, but the way that the stitching is here, let's see how it would work. I might have to cut off the 2003. Although I feel like here would look cute too, because it's not front and center. Yeah, so let's trim this off. You know, when you're styling things, sometimes it doesn't always work in your favor, and that happens, and that's okay. We just adjust, right? So I'm gonna get in there. There we go. And I'm gonna put this off to the side. So we're going to first do Edward's name, and I think off to here is really good. So let's lint roll this. And then we are going to add his name here. I think it's so cute. Right, Edward. And we want to make sure that our heat will get in there and that it stays. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go in and then come out. So that way I'm getting that down. And I'm just rocking it back and forth. And then I'll work on the top. Now there is times where you might get wrinkling when doing something like this. If you do, try to do your hardest to unwrinkle it by putting your sheet protection down and then massaging it out with your heat. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can, and I've found that to be successful for me. It could just be because the heat is working faster than you expected it to. So, and I'm just gonna peel that off. Came out cute. That's so cute. And now we're gonna add the 2023, and I think we can put it like right here, so it kind of looks like the same as the others. So I want and hope that works. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna go in the other way. Now you wanna make sure you don't put the heat onto the letters that don't have the protection on it, because you can remove it off of your substrate. So if you're unsure if you'll be able to hit it or not, put back on your protective gear, your protective sheet, so it will protect your image. So I'm fine. I have faith that I will get it where I'm not gonna ruin it. So I'm just gonna use the tip and just go in and apply a little bit of pressure to the numbers. And hopefully get that in there. So let's give it a look and see if it worked. And it did. That came out so cute. Okay. All right, guys. So that sums up my projects for today. And I hope you were inspired to do something for yourself or for a family member. So these are the little Peeps I did, and then here are the boxes, and then as you saw, we just went to and did the gift bags. So I hope you had a good time watching this video and you are inspired to do something for yourself, as I just mentioned. And if you like the content, please hit that like button. And if you want to be notified for future content, hit that subscribe and notification option. And I will get you on the next one. Have a fantastic crafty day. Take care.